Hello and welcome to Channel 2S, guys. I'm your host, Second Soundwave. I've got kind of an impromptu video for you today, guys. I didn't really plan this out that much, just kind of had the idea and I'm just going to sort of roll with it. So back when Build Fighters Battlelog was going on, Bandai did something kind of different with one of their kits. Of course, we usually get retail Gunpla, we usually get Bandai Gunpla, we usually get a small assortment of exclusive Gunpla for different events, such as Gunpla Expo, for locations such as Gundam Base, but we don't really get a lot of retailer exclusive Gunpla. So with Battlelog, they tried something a little bit different and released this kit, the A to Z Gundam. The A to Z Gundam on the surface looks like your standard Build Fighters model. You can probably tell just by looking at the general design elements that this is a modification of the Gunpla Evolution Project high-grade Zeta Gundam. However, this kit was a Amazon Japan exclusive. So you couldn't find this kit at hobby stores, you couldn't find this kit at online stores, you could only get it at Amazon Japan. Now, had that been the only way to get this kit, that would have been a bit of a pain in the ass for international customers, so while most of the world was still kind of screwed, at the very least, Bluefin stepped in and made the kit a retail release in the US. So if you wanted to pick this kit up, you could get it at all the usual places. Unfortunately, though, they didn't really produce any more of them than they did for the exclusive Amazon version, meaning this kit's still pretty rare. If you look at any of the usual places in the US to buy Gunpla, including New Type HQ, don't forget to use code Channel2S for 10% off your order, you probably aren't going to find this kit in stock. If you want to get your hands on one of these, you're going to have to look on the secondary market on eBay and from third-party sellers on US Amazon. You're probably going to find yourself paying around $35 for this kit, I would say, which is kind of a lot for a high grade, but in this particular case, I think it's well worth it. Because this isn't just a rare kit, this isn't just an obscure kit. This is honestly one of my favorite Build Fighters kits of all time. So let's talk about why. Right off the bat, I just gotta say the color scheme on this kit is absolutely fantastic. Now, you're gonna have to pardon a little bit of dust because I've had this kit for about a year, but this model just looks absolutely beautiful. I love the colors they chose for this kit. The blue they used was presumably inspired by the Amazon Prime logo and the general merchandising that goes with it. It's a very nice, vibrant blue color and not something that I see a lot on Gunpla. I also like the way that they paired it with the orange, and the way these colors blend with the white and dark blue used for the rest of the model just gives this thing one of the best color schemes I've ever seen on a Gunpla. I usually don't talk about a kit's color scheme all that much since they tend to be pretty generic and forgettable. It's usually some combination of the same blues, reds, and whites, you know, the Gundam tricolors, or if it's a Xeon kit, it'll be green or something, but this is one of those few cases where the mobile suit just really has an amazing color scheme. And I want to commend Bandai for doing that. Another really impressive thing about this model is just how much of it is new. Now, unfortunately, because this is such an impromptu video, I don't have my Zeta Gundam handy to do a comparison, but rest assured, most of what you're seeing on this kit is new material. I would say parts of the forearms are from the old kit, maybe parts of the head are from the old kit, the thighs are from the old kit, the knees are from the old kit, and the feet are from the old kit. Basically, everything between those parts, though, is brand new material. And the design of the kit is incredibly unique too. I'm especially a fan of the way the chest is shaped, and the head design is just plain awesome with a blue and yellow, well, basically a triple V-fin. The arms and shoulders have some great color separation with a little bit of an Amazon A going on in the shoulder pad. You can see a little bit more of that A styling in the head as well, and kind of on the side of the legs. Actually, the side of the legs really reminds me more of an Age 1 shield than anything else. Speaking of shields, what I guess amounts to a shield in this kit is a pretty small and simple affair. It's just this little blue piece on the underside of the arm, although there is some neat color separation where the underside of the part, or I guess the top side depending on how you look at it, is actually white instead of blue. Now, I suppose you could call this a little bit more than a shield since there is a slot to attach a beam saber effect from the XX, which is included in the box in a very cool translucent green that's giving me some serious LEGO Star Wars flashbacks. However, it's really not the best designed weapon since it sticks out from his arm at a really weird angle. However, the kit does come with a pair of normal beam saber handles as well, and just like with the high-grade Zeta Gundam, there's no place to put these. They're just kind of leftover accessories. Fortunately, though, they look absolutely awesome. I love how the clear green looks with the existing colors of the model. I've talked about the colors probably more than anything else in this video, but I really can't drive home enough just how good the color scheme on this kit is. It's honestly one of my favorite things about it, and it really does bum me out that Bandai made this kit so hard to get a hold of. So the main weapons of the A to Z Gundam are this pair of cannons. Now there's a few different things you can do with these. On the top of each cannon is a small peg, and on the underside is a handle that can be rotated out. There's also a second slot and tab system on the bottom. So between these connection methods, you have quite a few options with the cannons. You can have them hold them as a pair of separated guns. Alternatively, you can use that slot and tab system to attach the two guns together bottom to bottom in one hand. And then probably the most visually impressive ways you can display the cannons is mounted onto those engine pieces on the shoulders, or rather the backpack. Now this is how they tell you to do it in the instruction manual. However, there's an alternate way you can display these that I prefer just a little bit more. So all I've done here is I've basically just taken the same tab that I was using before to attach into the underside of the engine piece, and now I'm just attaching it over the top. Now this top mounting point is set farther back than the one on the underside, which means that the cannons don't stick out quite so far, and this just makes the kit easier to display. I also like how it brings the cannons up and out of the way of the V-fin, meaning you have a little bit more freedom with the head. And when it comes to those shoulder cannons, you've actually got a few more options with displaying this as well. You can see I've kind of done something a little bit different with them here, and if I turn the kit around, you can see there's basically just a couple rotation points, one horizontal, one vertical. The wings can flap, these things can move up and down, so you can kind of just play around with it a little bit and set these up however you like. I kind of like how they look this way, and this actually might end up being how I display this kit once I'm done with the video. But before this guy goes back up on my shelf, I gotta show you guys the transformation, or because this is a Zeta-based high grade, the parts formation. So yeah, this is based off the Zeta Gundam mold, so we got a pretty big chunk of plastic that we're gonna have to basically rip everything off of this kit and stick it onto here. Now I have not done this transformation in a very long time, so I'm not going to do any kind of like transformation, demonstration, tutorial, none of that crap. I'm just going to struggle through this off camera and then come back to you guys when it's all finished. Oh yeah, I should also mention that one of the other pieces of transformation kibble you get is a identical front skirt to the one that's already on the kit, just separated from the body. It still articulates, it's the same pieces, it's just another copy of it. Okay, so I think I got this mostly correct. Now I did actually discover I was missing a couple pieces when I was doing this. Namely, I realized that I forgot this dark navy blue piece when I was in mobile suit mode. Basically, this is just an extra cover that goes over the top of the shield. It doesn't really change much of anything about it, it's just a little extra piece. And I also realized that I was missing one of the leg thrusters. Now thankfully, I don't have to buy a whole other A to Z Gundam if I want to replace this, because the thrusters are one of the few pieces that actually are the same between the Zeta and the A to Z Gundam, meaning I can just get myself a regular Gunpla Evolution Project Zeta. Now regarding the flight mode itself, I was surprised by this. It's been a long time since I've transformed this kit, so I forgot that it actually was not a swept wing aircraft. I figured that based off the wings placement in mobile suit mode, we'd be looking at a little bit of forward swept wing action here, but that is not the case. However, I still do think this is a very cool flight mode. It's also extremely solid. Everything here feels really solid, and I almost feel like I could just ball my fist up around this and just run through the house like a 5-year-old, swooshing it around and making airplane noises. It really is that solid. Looks great from the underside, no sign of mobile suit parts. Although with the way this transformation is laid out, unlike with the Zeta Gundam, I don't really think you could ever make a non-parts forming version of this. Even if through some miracle we got a master grade A to Z Gundam, I think there'd still be a fair bit of parts forming mostly in the front end, just because the way those cannons and engines work is just kind of weird. I don't think it would work out. The pseudo cockpit section though has a really interesting design. The arms are very well hidden with only a little bit of hand peeking out at the bottom. And all around it's just a great flight mode. I've definitely heard of some people actually getting 2 versions of this kit so they can display it in both modes. Usually I don't care that much about mobile armor modes when it comes to transforming suits, but this one's pretty sweet. And as you probably guessed back when I showed you that giant brick of plastic before the transformation, there is quite a bit of Zeta Gundam left over. Fortunately though, it's pretty self-contained. It's basically just this chunk right here. There's not a whole lot of extra random bits, it's just this one big chunk, so it's pretty easy to keep track of. Well, aside from this little connector piece for the shield. And the Sabers still don't have anywhere to go, so they just kind of exist. That's going to do it for the A to Z Gundam, guys. This definitely wasn't anything close to a comprehensive review. I just kind of wanted to highlight this kit one last time since it seems to be fading into obscurity, and I just don't want to see that happen. Yeah, Bandai didn't do the best job making this kit available to everyone, but it's still a pretty awesome model nonetheless. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you're new to Channel 2S, subscribe for more Gundam and Gunpla content, and don't forget to check out channel sponsor New Type HQ for all your Gunpla needs. Now, unfortunately, they do not have the A to Z Gundam, however, they do have a lot of other kits, so definitely go check them out. And of course, don't forget to use code Channel2S for 10% off your whole order. But that's enough of that for today, so as always, I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys.